the official unveiling. Flipping mopeds. Dun, 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 dun. All right, the roached out Kinetic. I've always wanted a Piaggio C, and this is the Indian's version of it. Has the same engine as a Chow. Looks like it's missing its front fender, front headlight. Those brackets are weird. Brakes don't work. Looks like he's got turn signal. Hookups here. Throttle. No brakes. No gas cap. The seat's pretty roached. I might be able to get it redone, or I think these have a seat post on them, so we can also put a regular seat on it. Yeah, this basket's coming off. Gotta fix the toolbox area maybe a little bit. Repair his rear light. I think overall though, it looks like a pretty good bike. It's got some pretty red to it. All right, day one of the Kinetic TRF rebuild. Funny looking bike, got some parts missing. Missing the front fender. The headlight's kind of here, but it's cracked. Don't know where the horn went. Rear brake doesn't work. Pretty sure none of the electrical works, so I'm gonna pull all those off and wire it like a Chow. Got a broken front brake here. Throttle actually works. Bike actually runs. Seat is pretty janky. Looks like we might be able to put a regular seat post on it. Turn signals don't work. We've got a cracked light here. And rear brake's not even hooked up. It's a little bit different than the Piaggios, but very similar. Missing our toolbox here. Missing a pedal. Got the muffler. Got the airbox, carburetor, the engine. I don't know, overall cute bike, just needs to be put back together. All right, back for day number 2 of the Kinetic TFR rebuild. So I was looking online and I found a front fender for it, but it's 30 bucks. And I've seen some cool videos of guys that have sported these out by actually taking off the front fender and removing the rear fender. So I think to try to recoup some cost, I'm going to remove this fender, and if you're looking for a Kinetic rear fender, it will be for sale on eBay, and make it more of a sport bike. I can't find the toolbox that goes for this area here. They were making them, they even repopped them at one point, but the site that had them is sold out. It looks like they've been sold out for a while, so I think I might rig up a light for this area, similar to the Piaggio tail light. So I think that will look pretty cool. And then I might take these guardrails off. I don't know. Maybe part of the whole recovery might cost a little bit selling these. I don't know how good it will do, because I'm going to go with a bicycle seat on here if it will fit. But this is a 25.5 millimeter post, and most bike posts are about 22 millimeters. So it's about 3 millimeters too big. I've got a seat over here on my Bravo, a slam seat that I plan on putting on it. So I'm going to try to test fit this seat here and see if I can get it to stretch, or maybe one of these up here, but I didn't like the way that those looked so much. All right, so taking the fender off, and then also got a leaky back transmission with a post that doesn't really, I don't know, this is a little bit better now, but didn't seem like it was engaging that well. So I think the gaskets are always kind of bad. Take this apart and see if I have a gasket for it. If not, I'll order one. See what the brake looks like on the inside of there, and then put it back on, and that way I can wheel it around. So that's the plan. All right, so looks like we have a little bit of damage to the gasket here in this rear transmission hub. So I've got a replacement for a Piaggio. Hopefully it is the same hole pattern. So I'm about to pop this open and replace the gasket. All right, so I got it all apart. It's way different than a Piaggio. It's got pretty much just that one big gear in the middle there, and then this little piston gear here. So, and then it looks like this has never been opened, and they were probably lubricating it with, I don't know, is that chocolate? So I'm gonna clean all this up and put it back together and fill it full of actual gearbox oil, and then reassemble the rest of the wheel. All right, so I ran into a little delay here because it looks like there's a needle bearing in here that has just basically obliterated. I thought there was a little bit of an issue with this. So I'm gonna see if I can find another one. If not, I have a Piaggio rear hub. I'll just have to switch up the pulley to a Piaggio one. But I got it all cleaned up, putting it back together. Just need to measure this needle bearing, see if I have another one. Maybe order one anyhow. All right, so I had another needle bearing that I took out of other transmission. I was trying to look for it, but I put it away already. So this is good to go. This is the Piaggio gasket, which does not quite line up. And yes, I do have it the right way. I flipped it both ways. This is the original gasket here. So I think what I'm gonna do, what we have to do, I don't know where to get one of these, is I'm just gonna make one of these. So I'm gonna go grab a cardboard box, like a cereal box, lay this over it, trace it, and use an X-Acto knife to cut out a new one. So it is arts and crafts time for the transmission. All right, so it's rebuilt. Gonna trim down some cardboard that's kind of hanging over a little bit, but looks like everything went good. Gonna put that rear hub back together, put the wheel back on, take down some of that cardboard, and then it's good to go for the back wheel. All right, so I got the wheel on, and it is all good. Just go that way. Not for sure what I'm gonna do next. To be honest with you, I'm not really a fan of these things you lean back and put your feet on. Think about just going through and cutting it off to make the bike look a little more sportier. You know, put your feet on the pedals. All right, one side down, just one side to go. All right, the other side's off. So I'm gonna clean this up so I don't slip my wrist putting my engine inside and out. But I think that's better looking. I don't know, I never use those. I took the one off my Grande. All right, so clean that up, and then actually noticed that the side panels had like a part right up through there on the front. That's where that part used to extend up. But looks like they got a little rail, so I think I'm gonna cut these off too. Kind of trim them back a little bit. I don't know, I think it looks sportier like that. A little more dirt bike-ish. All right, so I took the engine out, getting ready to rebuild it, opened it up. I've never seen one without points before. Not for sure how he was getting this to fire up, but or maybe this is the way it is. Might be an external CDI or something. But usually there's little points there and a condenser over here. Looks like we got a spot for it, but they're not in here, so maybe kinetics are different. I may have to look that up. Catching up on the Luna. The engine's rebuilt, and I've kind of guessed, just from the hookup, that the ignition wires go into this miniature CDI type thing, and then the CDI plugs into the ignition coil, which means that this has to be the positive and ground for the light, the horn, and the tail light. So this is all built and ready to go back in. Let's see, what else have I done? I got a side plate for the bike. It worked out super well. Freaking love it. Never had one before. And then I put the light on the tail here by cutting off the area where the box was. And the area is a little bit bigger if you look far enough down there. So I kind of try to disguise it a little bit by doing a little bit of black paint. So from an upper angle, it kind of gives it a little sleeker body look to it. But, oh, and this is the seat for my Bravo. This is the slam seat, but I thought that it looked pretty good on it. I plan on getting a black one from Treatland, just like this. But yeah, I think the way that this bike looks really good. The only thing else different that I'm considering is that I have some lower handlebars that are pretty much level. So if I wanted to give it more of a cafe racer kind of look, I could use those and lower the bike a little bit. But man, it's super comfortable with those front shocks and those rear shocks. And even though that seat doesn't have any shocks to it, it's still a nice bike. I had another seat, but where the post is, it actually brought it further out into this area. It would have came out to right about here, which I think this is better if the seat's back a little further. It covers that back rack a little better. So I think design-wise, this is a better look seat-wise. And then I found a clamp and got it to fit on there. It was off of a chow. Maybe paint it or polish it up a little bit. But the bike is coming along. I could start putting it back together. I could put the engine in it, clean the carb, put it on, put the pipe on. So I've got cables, I think, and then I've resprayed some old domino controls that I had. So I think I have everything to piece the bike together and possibly give it a start. So I will probably do that now and then catch you up in a minute. All right, so I'm just gonna put a slammed bicycle type seat, really similar to the one that I have on this bike. But the seat post clamp is only at, I think, 22 millimeter, whereas the seat post on the Kinetic was at 25 millimeter. Oops, pull my tank trim off. It was at 25 millimeter. So what I did was I cut it off probably about 5/8 of an inch, did a couple of relief cuts, and then I had this 22 millimeter post that I cut and hammered in there, and then I can do a bicycle post clamp to kind of keep it in place, and then I can put the seat on there. So got that in place now, and then I wanted to go with that bullet headlight on the front here, but these arms are just not cutting it. So we're gonna cut those off, and I have these arms that are right here. So I know these are a little bigger than what this tube is, so I figured I could wrap the inside with like an old rubber tire or something, or maybe anything I can bend them so they can fit. But I'm gonna put these on there, cut these off next, and then maybe wash those sides. And I think I'm gonna call it a day, and then tomorrow we'll be rebuilding the engine, and I think maybe doing a tail light. I'm still thinking about, since I can't find that toolbox, mounting a tail light to the back here, and then maybe side plating the license plate, or maybe do a little hang down for the license plate back here. So, all right, that's next. All right, so I got the old ones cut off and the new EBRs put on. Use some skateboard hardware back here. These were a little bigger, but I put them off where I had cut the previous weld ones on, so it's a little thicker in that area, and I just tightened them way down. And here we go, it's coming along. Got to get a seat and make a list of parts that I need, but tomorrow will be the engine, so we're gonna do that. And yep, get it closer to running. Got a shipment, so now I can put on, this pedal arm was kind of messed up, so I got to replace it. The threads are messed up in here, it's bent, and same on this side. It's bent, and there's like no threads left on the inside of that. So I got new pedal arms. Hopefully the pedal wedges are still good. I didn't order those. And pedals. So we're gonna open up this bag and hopefully put pedal arms and pedals on. I think I got the cover, the CEV cover that goes to the headlight right there as well. All right, so might have a little bit of luck, but it looks like this one says it has an R on it. Maybe this is the right one. But somehow I ordered 2 lefts instead of a left and a right. So I just ordered a right pedal, but I'll have to send that one back or sell it on eBay. But yeah, I guess just make sure when you're ordering parts from Moped Division or Treatland or anywhere that you make sure double check before you hit that buy button, because sometimes you will get 2 left pedals when you need a left pedal and a right pedal. You'd think maybe they would have caught that, but they might have thought that I was working on 2 bikes that were missing 2 left pedals. So all right, I'm going to see what I can do with the pedal I got. I got the little cap on top of the bullet headlight. So I'll go as far as I can with what I got. Darn. So of course this one says left. So this is the one that was supposed to go on the other side. And the other side was supposed to go here, but that's okay. It might be a stroke of luck because this is the one that was worse off. Like almost no threads left at all. So let's put that right one over here. I know it was bent at the top, but see if maybe I can get a pedal on it and I can at least continue on with the build. Maybe get the carburetor cleaned today, get the muffler put on, and test it. All right, so I got the pedals on, but as you can see, that one's like pretty angled. So just as a temporary, so once I get the bike together, I can pedal start it. But I'm gonna get a new pedal arm for over here, one that's not crazy bent, and then I think I'm just gonna get new pedals because I think both of the pedals are bent as well too. The angle on this one looks kind of funky. See, yeah, see it right there a lot. So new pedals will be next. Got the hand grips on and finishing up the controls now. Catching up. I can't remember where I left off, but I'm hyped that I got it fired up. So I've got the throttle hooked up. It seems to be going good. And the front brake, I've got it hooked up. I didn't have the front brake cable adjuster for this one, so I'll have to order one. And the black decomp that I had wasn't the right size, so I used a gray cable that I had. So I can't hook up the back brake yet, and I haven't done any of the wiring. I did put in the 12.7 carburetor, which I might go on eBay and look for a couple of the 12.12 carburetors to put in here. Put the airbox back on. This will probably be okay if I just leave it. Maybe I'll put a piece of Velcro here or something and on that just to get to stay in there. But once the side panel's on, this really can't go too far. There's not much travel, so I don't have to worry about it really getting back into that chain area or anything as much. But I got it hooked up right. So basically this is a CDI. I'm not really for sure what. So cables from the engine, this one, come in, plug in here, goes in here, the CDI. But it has an output that I'm guessing had something to do with the turn signals. Yeah, so there's an output off the CDI, and then I also have the output off the engine. So I'm probably just gonna run the headlight, the tail light, and the turn signal off of this one. I don't know, maybe this would be cool to, or maybe run the headlight off of, or horn off of this one and then switch them up. I might check to see what kind of voltage I got coming out of this and use it if I can. If not, I'll probably just cap it off. So I think everything I can get comes out of this one. We're not doing turn signals on this bike. It's straight up just city bike. So I'm happy with the way it's turning out. Got the muffler on. I sprayed it with some high temp like silver paint just to give it a little bit different look, make it a little sportier. So I guess next will be waiting on Treatland for parts once I order them, and then hooking up the wiring and basically just kind of test driving it. All right. Not a lot of work on the Kinetic this week. I did add this little mud flap thing here to make it look a little better at the back. I didn't like the way you could see the bottom part of all this. And dual usage, you know, if it flips mud up, then kind of help keep that clean. It'd be cool to get a little sticker or something to put across there. But just redid that. I've got all of the cables on. So we've got our front brake hooked up. We've got our throttle. We've got our rear brake and the decompressor. And this is basically what the bike is going to look like. I'm waiting on a horn button for here. I've got a little spot up under here, under the horn, where I like to mount them on the bullet headlights. And we've got the black seat coming for it. And still waiting on my next pedal arm. And then I'll put new pedals on it. And then basically it'll just be running the bike and hooking up the tail light and the horn and headlight. Almost there. Catching up on the Luna. All right. Oh, new seat. I think I already showed the light and the mud flap. Final seat. So this is kind of the final look of the bike without my finger in the way. Put the horn in. I haven't done the wiring. I've got the bike to run. I think you've seen that. I'm gonna switch out this gray decompressor lever for a black one, and then for a black one. And I think the bike's about done. Working on the engine a little bit. It sounds like the timing's off, although I don't know how that could be because it's a CDI. But it kind of just like it won't like whine. It could also be because of the smaller carburetor, so I might try a bigger carburetor on it, the 1313, and see if that can increase it. Because someone had gotten into this engine at one point, opened up intakes, so it can handle a little bit more gas for a quicker takeoff. But I really like the way this bike is coming along. I want to blacken everything out, like that sports bike that I've seen on YouTube, the Kinetic that's all yellow with the cut tail. And they blackened out everything but the frame. So it'd be like, but this has so much good chrome. Like the rims are really good. All the chrome on this looks really great. So I don't want to do that. Another thing I was considering was making it more like a cafe racer by doing some shorter handlebars that I had over here. But I don't know how comfortable that would be. They'd be quite a bit lower and back further. So more crotch rocket style. So probably just leave it. Got the horn button finally. So this is a button that goes, screws in right underneath there. I might as well put it on. Alright, gonna put it on. And horn button installed. This is my favorite. It's a good place for it. Vroom. But it is a little bit hard to start. I haven't figured out what that is. I'll start it and show you what the problem is. Kind of goes into it'll take me a second. bicycle mode. Carburetor cleaned. There it is. That's what. So the last video I had quite a bit of scraping on this back wheel while I was driving it, and what it was is that this actually has a little key that goes into it, and when I went to slide the pulley on, the key got pushed back behind it, and it was like once the wheel would do the rotation, like a full rotation, it would hit it and make a scraping noise. The rest of the noise is just from the regular transmission. So I pulled that pulley off and saw that and was like, oh, and fixed it. Scraping noise went away. So much better now. Alright, last call for the Kinetic. It's finished. So, got the front brakes adjusted correctly. They're working good. Rear brakes work good. Piaggio engine. 1212 carb. And then with the muffler. Nice and clean, flowing good. And we got the Piaggio taillight. Slight cut frame. And the bullet headlight. Good to go.